everybody, welcome welcome back to my channel. Or if this is just a random live stream I'm doing, uh, that I'm decided to just randomly do because I have no other reason to do so. I have no other reason to do this live stream other than me being bored. So, hey Daniel. So, this live stream is, well, gonna be a different one because, well, normally I don't really talk a lot during my streams. I don't really say a lot of stuff during my streams, but this one thing I'm gonna be talking about something that I've been thinking about for a while now. Now, this topic is about um, the live stream I did with Suits, and which last live stream I did before this one was with Suits, and the whole thing with me, Suits, and everything that happened with Chris. So, now take everything that you say. Uh, Everything's going good, Daniel. Now, take this as you will, because there'll be some. I'm sure Chris is gonna watch this at some point, and then I know Suits is gonna watch this at some point. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to move one of my things here. I'm using my TV stand underneath my TV for this. So, uh, now this whole thing with Chris and Suits. So, basically, what happened was I did a stream with Suits not too long ago, and then I invited Jackson, Brendan, Massimo, Chris, and Suits. So it was all five of us, including me. Oh, it was all five of them, including me. And then Suits was talking to everybody, including Chris, on he was expressing his thoughts. Suits was Suits was explaining his thoughts, feelings, and emotions towards everybody, including Chris. Now, while everyone, now, while everyone was um, basically talking to Suits respectfully, Chris was the only one that didn't respect Chris. No, Chris didn't respect Suits. That's what I was saying. Chris didn't respect Suits, to understand that when Suits was there, we were all to listen to Suits and to listen to what Suits had to say. And Chris apparently uh, saw that and would basically have falling out with Suits and basically didn't listen to Suits and basically was like if I could, and basically didn't agree with everything that Suits said, and then Suits got all pissed, and then basically was like, it's like Suits asked Chris a question, like basically, uh, uh, Suits asked Chris. Okay, I'm gonna try to remember these questions correctly. And I know Winnie, also known as Wyatt, is gonna be watching this and then reporting on this to Suits at some point. But so that's what I'm gonna try and be careful with what I say here. Um, and this is not targeting Suits anyway. I'm not targeting Suits in any way. I'm just trying to explain what happened and then what is going on here. So, Suits asked Chris uh, if like if Chris would say uh, if saying the word retard is okay, and then I think Chris said what, and then and then and then um, I'm trying to think of what I can remember here. And then I think Suits asked Chris if Chris would go out in public and say the word retard to a random stranger. And from what I understand, from what I can remember, I believe Chris said if to an extent, and I believe if it's to a certain and it's to an extent, and if it's to like a certain person, and you know I and then Suits got all pissed off at Chris once again, but when Chris said that answer, saying of what he said, and then uh, and then when and then at some point uh, Chris typed in either in the public chat or in the private chat. I believe it was the private chat that Chris typed this, but Chris typed, "Pissing people off is what I like to do," or something along the lines of that. And then Suits got more pissed off at that, and then at some point, this was either before or after I removed Chris. But if this was before, then Suits asked me to put Chris in the backstage, which I did, and then which if this was after, then you know he asked me to do it sometime before, like during their whole dispute or whatever. Uh, but Suits was more mad at Chris than the rest of us uh, in that StreamYard that we did. Like he was mad at me. He was mad at Jackson. He was mad at Brendan. He was mad at. He was pretty much mad at everybody there, but he wasn't as mad at us as he was at Chris. Suits was mad at Chris, really bad. Like I'd say, I'd say like if Suits and Chris were if it was like at the presidential debate against Chris and Suits, Suits would have a higher chance of winning than Chris. And even though they'll both have some sort they'll probably both have some sort of valid argument. It's like I feel like Suits would have more valid arguments in this whole if there's a presidential debate. I feel like Suits would have more of an advantage because of the valid points that Suits is making. And even though Chris would have valid points too, Chris won't be able to win that presidential debate. Like, seriously, like if it like let's and then Suits said and okay, and then of course, and then let's say Suits decided to put me and Chris into a presidential debate. I'm sure Suits would. If I asked Suits if there was a presidential debate between me and Chris, who would win? I believe Suits would say that I'm more likely to win than Chris because, for one, he said that I'm more mature than Chris, which, to an extent, yes, but also no. And then, two, I believe, in Suits' opinion, I would have more valid arguments. And the third thing is that to Suits, I'd be able to take criticism. I'd be able to handle constructive criticism. And from Suits' point of view, to him, he doesn't think that Chris is able to handle constructive criticism. And to Suits, he doesn't think Chris is mature. From what that's just from what I've heard Suits say in his live streams, while also hearing it in my own live stream when I was with Suits in that one live stream. And then, and of course, Suits added Brendan to the fans list because to Suits, he thinks Brendan. Now, this is really to Chris again, but okay. I don't know how to fucking say this. Um, but to Suits, Brendan, he thinks Brendan has learned from this, but he also thinks that Brendan should like step out of my shadow because Brendan pretty much like from what Suits has witnessed, Brendan has like pretty much agreed with everything I say, and um, and in my opinion, I definitely think Brendan has somewhat grown. Now, I'm saying that in an honest way because from all the time that I've seen Chris between Chris and Brendan, I definitely think Brendan has like grown more. But I just this is my he's been in, but Brendan's been in drama twice already, and this is his third time back into the group. So that's why I'm kind of skeptical, and this is why I kind of said whatever I said and the way I said it. But yeah, and like I said, in in the one stream in the last stream I did with Suits, which is the most recent stream, um, I believe I did say that um, yeah, I'm looking at I'm occasionally looking at the viewers and whatnot, but I'm mainly just talking. But anyways, back to the conversation. Back to what I was saying. Suits. No wait. I said that I was still debating on whether to be friends with Chris. I have not talked to Chris since like I think the day after uh, the whole stream, and I still have not talked to him. Like even to this stream, I have still not talked to him, and there's like the reason I'm not even talking to Chris anymore is because for one, I plan to make sure that no further escalation happens, and the other thing is that I'm letting Chris calm down a little bit, which I think after this stream he's probably gonna be, I'd say pissed, but who knows? And what another thing is that I listened to what Suits said in that one stream, like the stream before this, uh, and I listened to everything that Suits said about Chris and his streams, and in my stream that one stream I did like before this one, and I believe that it's all made me like consider not being friends with Chris, but at the same time, I just don't know if Chris is, um, really ready to, uh, I guess, talk with anyone really. Hey, Ella. But anyway, I just don't think Chris is really ready to be back into the spotlight with everybody because, well, the fact of the matter is there's still drama between him and Suits, and I just don't know if there's still could be any drama that's going on. Um, yeah, Ella, I was just wanting to go live today because, well, I haven't gone live in a while, and I kind of felt like it, and I just kind of wanted to, talk on stream. So, and to all you guys are wondering, yes, I'm reading chat here. I'm looking at chat, reading it, and talking to the audience while I also talk about whatever I kind of want to get off my chest. Yeah, I'll be able to join it since I'm not busy, but yeah. Anyways, back to what I was saying. But anyways, so my message to Chris if he ends up watching this later. Uh, Chris, dude, before you go on mental on me, just know that that if you do something that will trigger suits, that will possibly like cause suits to come after you again, don't go after. Don't just don't like do anything to trigger suits. Like I'm telling you, suits is not a guy to mess with. I learned from that because I messed with suits uh, about 3 years ago. Yeah, it's 2025 now. So all of 2022, I screwed with suits, and I've learned from that, and I've learned from that. And then Chris, uh, just just whenever you're in a moment like that where you're very angry, just take a chill pill and think because you don't know what you're gonna say next, and just take my advice and just step away from a little bit. Like, just take a minute to breathe. And I'd say, just breathe and you're good. Just take a deep breath in and out and you're good. And cool. Anyways, now suits. I know Wyatt also knows when he's gonna be telling you all this, but like telling you what the moments of this stream. But suits. I do appreciate you, like for what you're doing, and I know you're trying to help. I know you're trying to do your best, but and I know that you're doing the same thing to me that I did to you, but suits. My only message to you is to um, I know you're probably gonna go off on me for this, but I'm prepared for this. But suits, I would suggest at least taking a look at the information that you're given, and like with all the drama that you've seen between me, Chris, and Brendan versus everybody else. Um, just look at like everybody's. Just look at what's provided to you, and then try and see if you can pull more information from like that, while also trying to look for more sources of information, so that way you can, you know, make your own educational guess on what to say or what to do. Now, I know you're gonna probably call me a hypocrite for that because that's what I should have done, like back in the past. Which, I know you're gonna say that, so I'm just gonna say this now that I should have done that too. But I'm honestly, you know, I also just want to get that said before you, you know, like before you go crazy on me, and um, honestly, but other than that, suits, you're all good. You're a good guy. I'm glad you're helping me with this. It's like at first during this when you first got brought into this whole drama between everybody, um, between like with like you wanting to come into my stream and talk about this. Uh, I kind of thought you were like against me, but then I learned that you were helping me, which I'm glad you are. But anyways, I'm probably gonna be streaming tomorrow. Uh, Probably at least. Which, yeah. Uh, Now my dad just texted me saying that he's going to bed. Uh, now I'll be right back. I gotta go help him, and I gotta go get myself a drink too. I know I got water bottles over there, but I'll be right back. I gotta go help my dad and get myself a drink. So, be right back. Hold on, I just gotta, I just gotta mute real quick. So, give me a second. Hey guys, I'm back. Anyways, I just kind of climb up the stairs twice. All right. All right. Anyways, yeah. When when Suits was on that stream with me, he had a lot of good points, like to everybody, including Chris. And when Chris went all argumentative on Suits, like when I had Massimo in there, uh, Massimo was basically vice why is basically president number 2. So I have to have Massimo in there whenever Suits is in there. But never once did Massimo tell Suits to calm down when Suits was yelling at Chris. It's like, honestly, I would definitely think that Suits, I would not. I don't think. I know that Suits is going to win any debate against Chris, even if it was a presidential debate. Suits would win, and it's like, honestly, Suits would win a debate against anybody. I'm not even kidding you. Suits would easily win a debate against anybody. Like, like, like even if it was against me, I'd lose to Suits 100%. It's like, we both have valid arguments. We both would have pros and cons. But yet, I lose to Suits. It's like, honestly, but I'll see what Suits says whenever he on his whenever he posts a new video or short clip or new live stream or whatever. I'll see what he has to say about this very particular stream that I'm doing, and you know what? Let's take you over here to my computer here. That way I can look up all the stuff that basically went down. So now I think okay, I'm gonna turn on my computer. Okay. Now. And then, okay. Basically, I'm going to go on YouTube and I'm going to go on Suits' channel. And basically, I don't know if Suits has said anything as of recently, but Suits did make a new thing about Brendan, basically making his first message to Brendan, and but honestly, if I look up Suits' channel, Suits, as of now, it's only been 2 hours since his last thing here, and Suits has not said anything yet. It's like, Suits, it has honestly, not said anything yet, and I'm just, basically the guy that's just, talk about this, but if we go to, no, it's not on posts either. But Suits always looks at the facts when it comes to stuff like this like this kind of drama. I'm sure he always does, and it's like he always looks into this kind of stuff, and he always, anything that he, like anyone that has drama, he always talks about the drama he's in with, the person he's in the drama with. And then, like he did with Buddy Blake Stapleton here. Like, with Buddy Blake Stapleton, he basically just went off on him because of what he has said to, because of what Buddy Blake Stapleton has said to Suits. Now, Suits has done a review on Jackson, he's done a review on Brendan, and he's done a review on Chris, which he hasn't done one on... I think he hasn't done one on me. He hasn't done one on Massimo yet. And, which Harry knows about Massimo, but he hasn't done one on me. So let's look at his updated fans list. He did one... He hasn't done one on me. He hasn't done one on Janito. He hasn't done one on Ella. Not Joshua. But those are the... And then he hasn't done one on Australian Seed Meal. He hasn't done one on... pretty much that's it. Like, well... He hasn't done one on pretty much anyone on his new fans list, on the newly updated fans list. He hasn't done one on anyone on his Vice Important Presidents. He hasn't done one on me, Janito, Ella, or Joshua. Well, he's done Brendan, he's done Jackson, he's done Chris. But besides those three, he hasn't done a review on anyone yet, on anyone else yet. Which, you know, I'm hyped up to hear what he has to say about everyone else. But, you know, it's just... I just don't know what he's going to say about me, though, when he does the whole, you know, review on me or on anyone else. But when it comes to that, I can't wait to hear what Seuss has to say. And, yeah. And honestly, if I were to actually talk to Suits now, I'd ask Suits about his review on me. That's if he was here. Yeah, this live's gonna be up afterwards, so that way they can see it. And I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna open up a YouTube Studio actually. And this stream is actually gonna be saved afterwards. That way, Suits can go back and see it, and then you know, that way he can make his review on me and do whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna make sure he, you know, sees basically what's going on. And you know, yeah, I'm excited too. And you know, like, honestly, if I had to say something, if Seuss was here right now, well, if Seuss was here right now, I'd tell him all the good things he has been doing, like all the stuff I would agree with, and then I'd talk to Suits about all the stuff that I don't agree with, like well, I don't agree with what he did, like with what he did during the like when he first got brought into the drama. I didn't like how he just instantly just going off on like everybody in the live stream beforehand. But I will say, yeah. But I will agree with what Suits has said that hi. But what I will say is that Suits did do good on basically looking at the streams. We'll look at like what we all did in that one stream, and took into consideration that we're in some way we're all more mature than Chris. And I like how he took into consideration that he was all calm and he was not really yelling. That's what I like about Suits. Well, I like that about Suits, that he can control his anger. Suits can control whether or not he can get angry at people. And Suits is the type of guy that can control his anger, but at the same time, he can get really angry if you piss him off. But and with Chris, on the other hand, Chris just needs to learn how to calm down. Like when it comes to going crazy. Like I still have Chris on Discord here. The last time Chris actually talked to me was not the day after the stream, but it was 4 days after. So May 9th. So 3 days before this stream happened. So 3 days before this stream actually happened, Chris actually texted me. And I'm going to read you the text that he said now. So Chris said, Joe. This is the first message from May 9th. Joe, he said, Joe. I said, sup. Chris said, did you see what Mr. Business posted 2 days ago? I said, yeah, why? Which 2 days before that was set the 7th, which was 2 days after the stream. So then Chris said, you saw the video posted about me? I said, yep. Yeah. And then Chris said he's making everything sound like I'm an asshole. He never really gave me any time whatsoever to explain what I meant by my responses. Yeah. And then I said, I mean, on the stream, you were kind of an asshole, which he kind of was. And then Chris said, be an asshole to me, I will be an asshole back. But he makes it sound like my responses were literal. Does he think I would actually go up to a stranger and call them a retard? I said, he thinks so, yeah. And then Chris said, I said that Suits would think so. And then Chris said the last thing he said to me was, he should think before he speaks. And if you don't believe me, everybody, here's what he said. This is all what Chris said. I know this is like a bad thing to do, but I should just show everyone what Chris has said. But that's all what Chris said on May 9th. That was 4 days after that stream. And honestly, and Chris just went active right as I was reading off the chat, so that he was to what he was saying. So now I have a feeling that Chris is gonna say something to me about this. Now, and then Chris on the 5th. literally, I think this was after the stream. It was after the stream. Yeah, I saw he was. Yeah, I saw he got on YouTube. Yeah, and after the stream, I texted Chris, "Hey, Chris, did you remove me from your server?" And then Chris said, "I heard what I needed to hear. Practically seeing your true colors of how you feel towards me now." Uh, and then I said, "What do you mean?" Then Chris said, "This was right after the stream too." Then Chris said, "I'm still deciding whether to be friends with Chris or not. I understand that the trust you have for him, but you can't let someone else's words decide a friendship. Let me remind you, he doesn't know jack shit about what has been happening. He's speaking from what he knows, and that's not enough to talk from. Next time I get mentioned, I'll make my intentions known. For clarification, that's a promise, not a threat." That's what Chris has said. The right at when this stream ended. That's what Chris has said, and I know Chris is gonna say something to me right after this, but he just went offline. Um, so basically, what Chris was saying there was that what I just read off, Chris basically very much dislikes suits from what I just read there, and from what I understand there, I think Suits is doing the right thing here by basically just seeing what he was doing and then just saying what he needed to say. And yeah, it's like, honestly, those two really don't like each other. Like, uh, they really didn't like each other. They honestly went completely nuts on each other. And I know Winnie also knows why it's gonna see this and probably report whatever I say to Suits. That's why I'm trying to be careful here. But honestly, and I know Chris is probably gonna say something to me, but honestly, if I had to choose now whether to side with Suits or Chris in this whole thing, I think Suits, unless Chris has any other further proof that, yeah, thanks, Ella. But if I had to decide, make a final decision on whether to stay friends with Chris or just not be friends with Chris, it's like, I honestly don't know. Honestly, if I was given if it was like a 50-50 shot, if it was all down to me, I honestly won't know. Because I may need another stream with Suits and Chris in there. I may need to see another of how Chris reacts in the next stream with Suits that he's in before before I make my final decision. But I'm gonna say here that Chris is on thin ice right now. If it was oh, there was a washing machine downstairs. I was like, but hold on, let me close the door real quick so that way I don't hear the stuff downstairs. But I'm just gonna say this now. Chris is on thin ice. Chris is on really thin ice here. Basically, it's basically the type of ice that that Chris is on the type of ice to where one step, instant break. But that's basically what type of ice he's on right now. Like, it's like, oh, if you have a question towards me, go ahead. But if it's to Daniel, then just take it into like a private chat or take it into like a personal DM or something. I don't really want to see that in my chat. But if it's a question towards me, go ahead. But honestly, Chris is on thin ice. Like, honestly, I don't really. It's like, if he acts out against Suits again, well, if you can, just add Daniel on Discord. Oh, well, if you guys can, just please just save the questions for later. I don't like seeing that in my chat. I don't like, well, unless it's like with everybody else, unless I'm with other people, I'm actually, yeah, go ahead, just make it quick. Make it quick, but I don't like seeing that in my chat. I just don't like it. Just make it quick. But anyways, as I was saying, if Chris does another outburst on Suits again, which I'm sure that's probably going to happen, I'm sure it's just going to go crazy. It's fine, guys. It's fine. LA, you can ask him real quick. You can ask him real quick on this stream, or you can ask him on your stream. It doesn't really matter. Just, if you want to say it real quick, say it real quick. It's fine. But, okay. Chris just put on his, what is this again? I just closed Discord, so I can't. Okay. So Chris just put on his status that all I know is that I'm better than you. That's what he put on his status. That's what he put on his status. And Brendan, I think Brendan just updated his status on things, saying that he's so pissed right now. That's literally what his status says. So, just imagine Chris is actually watching a stream, or at least just somewhat looking at this. Yeah, you know what? Chris actually put that on his thing. That's actually on Chris's thing. Look at that. See that? That's on Chris's thing right there. I'm not even kidding you. That's actually on Chris's thing. That's actually on his thing. It's like, honestly, you know what? If Chris is watching this right now, I bet you he's just waiting till after stream to say something so that way I don't use it against him. But honestly, Chris knows that I shouldn't really say this, but it's probably gonna, she's just probably gonna say something about this anyway. When Wyatt tells him about this, but honestly, Chris should know that anything he says, I'm just gonna tell Suits what he said, and then Suits is gonna just make his opinion about what Chris said, and even if I don't tell Suits, there's a chance I'm gonna show it on one of these types of streams again. It's like just like how I just read off what he said there. So, Chris, if you're watching this right now, you better say what you need to say to me right now on Discord, because I would love to have a debate with you, because Chris, like, I'm just being held for review. Oh, Daniel, okay. Daniel said in the chat, Daniel said, Chris, if you got something to say to it, if you got something to say, say it. Don't be a bitch on Captain Jack. That's what Daniel said. That's what Daniel said. Now, I'm just gonna show the message. But, anyways, I honestly would think that in a debate between me and Chris, there's a higher chance of me winning that debate than Chris. But at the same time, it's like a 50-50 chance between me and Chris. Like, there's a chance Chris would win that debate, and there's a chance I would win that debate. Now, if it's against Suits, Suits would win. Now, if it's against me and someone, if it's not against Suits, but if it's against me, it's a fine line between who would win. It's like 50-50. Now you kind of get what we mean with how we kind of felt Joe from before. Some way, yes, but at the same time, but at the same time, you shouldn't have. It's like, really, like, from what I've witnessed at first, I was like, wow, they're not showing any proof. But now I'm seeing what's going on. But I'm looking at Chris's thing here. It's like, I have Chris's chat open. I'm just going to say, I'm going to say, hello, Chris. Or I'm going to mention his username. And there we go. I just texted Chris saying hello. And I'm wanting to know if he says anything. Yeah. Chris just said sup. You know what? Maybe. Chris just said sup. What? Okay. Looks like maybe Chris doesn't know that I'm streaming. I'm gonna say, how are you? That's my next thing I'm gonna say. But that's what I'm gonna say for right now. And then we'll see what Chris has to say after that. But Daniel, there will be there probably tomorrow. Yeah. Chris is like, good, how are you? I'm like, I am good. Okay. Like, you seem pretty calm today. I'm like, you seem pretty calm today, because so far Chris hasn't said anything. Chris hasn't said anything about what I've said. Like, doesn't know. I guess Chris doesn't know that I'm streaming, and he doesn't know of what I'm saying. While Chris is typing, it's like, honestly, got rid of another faker yesterday, so that could be it. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, Chris is kind of like Captain Jack, but different. Okay. I'm gonna ask this question to you guys. Should I tell Chris I'm streaming? And a follow-up question for that. If I tell Chris I'm streaming, should I tell him to watch this? Like, should I tell him to watch the stream after I'm done? And if I tell him to watch the stream after it's done. Okay. So, yes. So, that's yes for the first one. It's up, you. Okay. I'm gonna tell Chris I am currently streaming. If you want. Okay, I'm gonna move my phone right here for a quick second. If you want to watch it. Okay. Okay. Well, if Suits actually did, I'm gonna look because once I'm gonna if Suits actually said something. Suits actually did post something. Okay, I'm gonna watch it. And then I'll tell you guys what he said. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna watch it and see what Suits had to say. I'll let you guys know what Suits said. Oh my god. Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, let me read this message real quick. Okay. So, okay. Suits just said on his video that he will always respect me because he will always respect me, and then that I will always be a man. Because I invited him to that one stream, and then Suits basically continued. Then Suits said that he yelled at Chris because he asked Chris if he thinks it's okay to say the R word, which Chris said, which is retarded, or retard. Chris said yes. Then Suits asked Chris if Chris thinks it's okay to say the R word to anyone, including strangers. Then Chris said it depends on the person. Then, uh, then, uh, hold on, let me look back at what was said. Hold up. Holy shit. Hold up. Okay, so basically, Seuss is saying that, like, Chris said on the stream that it depends on the person. And then, now I need to listen to what, yeah, then, yeah. So, basically, Suits just clapped back on Chris. I know Chris is in chat right now, but holy shit. Like, Suits just fucking clapped back on Chris. Like, for he's explaining here why he's mad at Chris. I need to listen to the rest of this video. This is fucking good. So basically, when Chris to Suits, when Chris said that he was serious, he said to Suits, he said in a very disrespectful voice. Holy shit. Chris, dude, you went, like, you basically okay, Chris, Chris, if you really want to argue with me, Chris, take it on Discord, then we can settle this like men. Oh, wait, that's right. I don't think, oh, that's right. I don't think you are a man from what I'm witnessing right now, because clearly from all of this, you have no evidence to back yourself up, but at the same time, we don't have proof to back ourselves up either. But honestly, this is just going nuts. But let's listen to the rest of the video, shall we? Wow. Wow. So, apparently, what I just found out was that there's a message on that Chris has said to Suits that is currently held for review, and that when I invite Suits to my stream again, when I invite Suits to my stream, he's going to pick apart all of that message of what Chris said in Suits' comment section. I cannot wait. You know what? Next week, next Monday, I'm gonna see on. Okay, Chris just texted me here. He said that was fucked up. Must I really clarify the words that I said? That must I really clarify the words I said that one Monday night? I can guarantee you that's not what Mr. Biscuit said. But clearly, from what I'm witnessing here, all of this was absolutely crazy. And no, he is not. But honestly, I could tell you this. Suits will automatically win the argument against Chris. And honestly, Suits, hold on. Before I say this message to Suits, I'm surprised that Suits made a video response towards this. But I'm surprised that Suits made a video like during this whole stream. But honestly, to Suits, you are an absolute legend, bro. You were basically you are someone who doesn't like to be messed with, basically. And that's all I really need to say. And honestly, I just imagine that probably tomorrow or probably sometime in the next couple of days, Suits is going to make a short clip, a video, or a live stream just going fucking ham on what's going down on this stream and what basically I've said during this entire stream, and from what Chris has said, and from what the chat is saying here. And Suits is going to go fucking ham on Chris. I'm not even kidding you. Like, I'm not even kidding you when that happens. I'm not even kidding. Okay. Chris just texted me this. Chris just said, I find it pretty fucking stupid that you act all nice just to think I'll get that you'll get away with this shit. You said it on your live. I see that was also a way to get me to hear what you have to say. Well, pretty much. I just said wanted to get Chris on here so I can see what I had to say about this. Smart, but not really effective. Okay. I didn't know if Chris was watching the stream or not, so that's why I did that. But honestly, Chris, dude, you're acting out, dude. I don't know why you're just trying to be all like tough on me. It's like, Chris, dude, you're going over the edge there, You're going over the edge there, pal. Chris, you're going over the edge. Because, dude, Chris, buddy, I know you might not see me as your buddy, but, dude, Chris, you need to control your anger, dude. You need to, it's like, I know from what you're witnessing right now, you're probably like, oh, Joe's saying all this about me. Oh, Joe shouldn't be saying all this. You told me to bring it to Discord just for you to not answer. Wow. Wow. I did say to bring it to Discord, but I don't think I said I'd not answer. Dude. Chris, I did say to bring it to Discord, so I'm glad you are. So that way I'll be like, you know what, I'm going to send this to Chris. Right, I know Chris is hearing this, but I see how it is. Wow. You know what? I'm gonna be like. You know what? You know what? I'm gonna say this. Suits for the win, boy. Okay, well, I'm gonna say that. Well, before I send that, I'm gonna say this. Well, I'll do that next time I'm on with Chris, but. You know what I'm gonna say? I'm saying Suits for the win because Suits has shown okay. I mean, you know what I'm gonna show? I'm gonna close out the. I didn't close it. I just minimized it. But honestly, from what I've heard from everybody else, and from what from the way that Chris has acted, and from the way that I've heard. I'm gonna make my final decision tomorrow. I'm like, if not tomorrow, then Wednesday. Wednesday's gonna be my final decision on Chris. Well, okay, Chris, I believed you at first, but then from the way you've been acting, you've really shown that you don't really have a way to back yourself up and like with anything. And again, it's like with Suits has seen the way you've acted on stream. So Suits has a valid reason to see all of this. And honestly, Chris, you really screwed up. Like, honestly, Chris, if I could say that it's like you're on that, it's like that's how much thin ice you're on, maybe about there. It's like, honestly, like, Chris, even if you disrespected the dude, you disrespected Suits from what I witnessed on that stream. You disrespected the guy. He's okay. Chris said, "I see everyone is a fake. Everyone around me is a faker now. Is a faker now. Thanks, asshole. You ruined my good mood that I've had all day." Well, Chris, uh, maybe you shouldn't have disrespected Suits. Maybe you shouldn't have disrespected Suits on that stream. Then maybe I wouldn't have said this. It's like, okay, okay, yeah, he did call you guys children. Yeah, it's like he was literally talking crap in the comments on that one StreamYard, and then now Chris is. It's like now Chris is blaming me like for what it's like. Now it's like Chris is saying it's like that he won't even have a comeback. It's like it's like he's saying he won't have a comeback now. But honestly, Chris had his chance to speak on you know, whatever. But yeah, you know what? I agree, Daniel. It's like to me, Chris could have just said, Chris could easily said like 2 words. He could just said, "I'm sorry." That's all he could have said to Suits was, "I'm sorry." And yet I didn't hear that from Chris on that stream, and it's like I believed Chris at first, but now it's just now Chris is more of a thin line. Yeah, it's like I apologized when I would like I apologized to Suits around the time that this all happened. I apologized, but Chris didn't even apologize to Suits. Now I don't even think Chris. Now I don't even think Suits is gonna even accept Chris's apology. Like, like if I did something to upset Suits, I would have just hear what Suits had to say, and then about what I said, and I would have said, "I'm sorry." I would have said I'm sorry, and then said why I was sorry. That's why. I feel like Chris just sent me a Chris just sent me a Discord message. I see that you're also a huge liar, just like in drama. Yet you're the one making the current one worse. Well, Chris, I didn't want to be part of the drama, but yet I didn't want to be a part of this drama, but yet I was brought onto it. So, kind of, not my fault that I was brought into this. And Chris, dude, all I was doing was just talking about what's been going on. And then I didn't know if you were watching the stream or not, so I was like, I wanted you to see what was going on and I wanted you to see what I was saying on stream. That way you could understand from my point of view how I'm feeling about this and what I'm trying to say here. And yet, Chris, you're literally you're literally making this worse for yourself. I know I said I don't like drama, but I was brought into this, so I kind of, would say that uh, I'm talking about the drama, but yet I'm not starting it because it's already been started. But, uh, but Chris, uh, if you were actually here on, like, if I was actually talking to you, like, face to face on stream, uh, I would, first off, I'd allow you to say what you need to say, and then if Suits was on with me, I'd allow him to say what he needed to say, and then then I'd make my final say in this, and from what I'm saying right now is that you should just listen to what I'm trying to say here. What I'm saying to you is that you need to cool your jets down more and actually listen to Suits and maybe try apologizing to him. But maybe instead of just like going at Suits for disagreeing with you, maybe I'm saying this in a way I'm trying to. Maybe you should listen to what Suits is trying to say to you. Maybe try apologizing to Suits. And maybe, I don't know, maybe try and consider that Suits is trying to, well, I'm not sure about this, but maybe you should see if Suits is trying to, maybe after you apologize to Suits, maybe ask Suits if there's a way for Suits to uh, allow him to forgive you. Now, you are your own person, Chris. You're your own person. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying. But, Chris, I'm just trying to help you out here. I'm just trying to. Up. Okay. I'm just trying to help you out here, Chris. That's all. But, anyways, yeah, I'm one to help, but also you're on a thin line here. Anyways, I'm gonna end the stream here, and then I'm gonna go into the voice. Then I'm gonna go on JJ's server and hear what everyone else in that call, everyone in that call is gonna say, and hear what they have to say and hear what they say about this stream if they were talking about it. But Ella, I'll see you in there in just a second. So I'll see you guys in my next stream. If I don't come up with a decision by tomorrow with what to do with Chris, then it'll be soon. My next stream with this, not tomorrow, but my next stream will be my final decision on what to do with Chris. So, anyways, see you guys later. And Suits, if you want to make another video about this, go ahead. And yeah, see you guys.